Hey guys, so, it is hot in here. Well, I thought I'd give y'all an update I totally had forgot about. If you see it right there, that's my grandfather's old chainsaw. So it's a, hold on. It's a McCulloch Beaver. So it's all in pieces because frankly, hang on a second, let me try to get the saw. So it's still all in pieces here, as you can see. So I pulled this cover off in half, and this thing was just all full of dirt dauber nest, which I know them, which they're really known to be called mud daubers, but I just call them dirt daubers. So yeah, there were lots of dirt dauber nest on this, all over this thing, because this was sitting over at my grandparents' farm, and this thing had probably been sitting for more than a decade, I would assume, just not being used. So as you see, I'm just currently just working on the fuel lines here, and see, I also had to replace the line for an oil line as well, because it was all in pieces too. I got a new primer bulb. Luckily I had one of these snap-on primer bulbs, and I cleaned out the inside of the gas tank. I still need to just clean up all of that stuff there, and I also cleaned up the clutch cover. I probably ought to just wipe it off a little bit more, but it was a lot dirtier than this, but it's better than it was. Okay. Still need to wash off the air cleaner cover. That's it right there. And took the muffler off and checked it. It wasn't too bad. And I also checked the spark arrestor screen, so it was pretty good. But I did a cleanup on it anyways. And I cleaned off the bar. So it was a bit dirty, and as you see here, there's a little hole right there. One of them on one of the sides, it was all completely clogged up. And so yeah, usually on most chainsaws will have little holes like this, and like it's always important that they should always be clean, because like if they're not, then no oil will go through the bar and lubricate it properly, and that can cause premature wear on your bar and chain. So like I said, these little holes will be on most chainsaws except for the Echoes. And see, there's the original chain. I'm not going to reuse that chain, even though the teeth on them don't look too bad. I just don't feel like sharpening them. So instead I just went and bought a brand new chain at Lowe's for about 15 bucks, which was not too bad. And got a new air filter, which unfortunately this is a piece of a Lawn Boy air filter that I just made myself, because McCulloch no longer makes air filters for these older chainsaws. And of course the original one don't know if I have it, or I could have thrown it away. In here is just some screws for me to put the cover back on. I just want to put them all in here so I won't lose them all. And that's the oil cap. And I think this is the original spark plug, which it is a Champion DJ7Y. And so I went and bought a brand new one. And don't know anything else. And of course right here, this piece right here is where you would stick your filter on. Then of course those two screws will line up onto the carburetor. And I do have the carb kit for the saw, so I practically do just have all the parts for it, but I just need to work on getting all of this put together. And I probably will make a video on rebuilding this carburetor on the saw. And so let's see, what kind of carburetor is it? It's another Zama carburetor, and this one is, what is the series? It's a C1Q. So it looks kind of similar, kind of does resemble some of the Walbro carburetors. And I think the C1Q series carburetors from Zama, I think these are also most commonly used on some steel equipment. I think on some of their string trimmers, leaf blowers, and I think also on some of their chainsaws as well. And the model number on this carburetor, you can't quite see that very well. Yeah, you can't quite see it on the camera. It's a model M27A. And so, yeah. So, just in the meantime here, I'm going to just work on getting everything put together on the saw, like get this all buttoned up, get the recoil starter put back on, and then get the bar and chain put on it. And so the only thing I would have to worry about is the carburetor. And hopefully I can get this saw running, just so that way my grandfather will have a working gas chainsaw, which unfortunately his current chainsaw, which is the Poulan Woodshark, his newer gas chainsaw, well, apparently when the last time I went up to the farm, I tried starting that saw and it wouldn't start at all. So probably whenever I get this saw all fixed up, and probably whenever the next time, if I have a chance to go back up to my grandparents' farm, I'll see what's wrong with the Poulan chainsaws. I'm assuming it could just be a fouled spark plug, so I would just get a new plug for it and then just go from there. And so, yeah. And also, I'll eventually will get me a new rope for the Mantis tiller. I'd also discovered the starter pulley. It's just coming apart. It's breaking too, so I might also just get a new pulley as well. And so, yeah. And so I hope y'all enjoyed this little update video, and hopefully real soon I'll have this saw running, and then I'll hand it back to my grandfather. So cool. Alright, so hope y'all enjoyed this video. So thanks for watching.